Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Rama Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Pranams to the lotus feet of the Lord, pranams to all the Mahatmas and Gurujis, pranams to all of you. Shloka number 85. Udbhava Sundara Sundo Ratnanabha Sulochanaha Arko Vasajana Shringi Jayanta Sarva Vijjayi. In the last class, we saw the meaning for this particular shloka. And the last nama being Sarva Vijjayi, the all-knower and victorious. Up to this, we have seen in the last class. Now we will go to shloka number 86. Suvarnabindu Rakshobhyah Sarvavagishwareshwarah Mahahrudo Mahagarto Mahabhuto Mahanidhi. Suvarnabindu Rakshobhyah Sarvavagishwareshwarah Mahahrudo Mahagarto Mahabhuto Mahanidhi. Swarna Binduhu. There are two meanings. One who has beautiful limbs. The other one is who is auspicious mantra Om. Let us look at both the meanings. Because his bindus means limbs are shining like a swarna, gold. He is Swarna Bindu. This is one meaning. Second one is O is Varna, the letter, and M is the Anuswara, is the Bindu. And so Om itself is Swarna Bindu, auspicious syllable. It is derived from the root Na Avarakshane and means one who protects. And being the name, the mantra of Lord, it protects and blesses. Hence Bhagavan, whose mantra as an auspicious Varna and Bindu is Swarna Bindu. So Om being his name, he is known to be known through this mantra. And I have explained in other context, the Om is the monosyllable, which represents the absolute consciousness, the Brahman. And every Upanishad talks about the Omkara, especially the Mandukya Upanishad does a detailed analysis on Omkara. So everything can be ultimate, derived into one syllable. The consciousness can be brought into one syllable called Om. That's why in any Nama Archana, we always say Om, Vinayakaya Namaha, Ganeshaya Namaha, whatever it is, we add the first Om prefix. So Om is a very, very powerful mantra. Next one, Akshobhyaha. Akshobhyaha means the undisturbed. Bhagavan is Akshobhya because he is never afflicted, never disturbed by anything. He is never subject to any type of afflictions such as desire, hatred, and so on. Nor is he afflicted by the objects of the sense like sound and so on. Bhagavan says in Gita also very clearly, Arjuna, I am doing everything with detachment. I am not affected. I am Akarta Abhokta. I am only a distributor of the karma pala to everyone. Now, whatever you guys do, Papa Punya, I only distribute back as a prarabdha, and then you enjoy or you just suffer depending on that. So I don't do anything. So nothing is affecting me. So why can't you also be like this? Why can't you also be like this? Be akarta, abhokta, be detached, so you will not be affected by anything. So he says, Namam karmani limpanti name karma pale spriha idimam yobijanati karmabir nasapadyate. And he says in the next shloka, this is the 4th chapter, it comes, Evam nyatva kritam karma purvairapi mubukshubhihi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kritam. So your forefathers were behaving like this. Forefathers were behaving like this, and you can also be like this, like me. That means the Ishwaratvam we can also attain. By what? Ishwaratvam means what? By Brahmatvam. What does it mean? You cannot be controlling the universe. What does it mean? Means you can understand Aham Brahmasmi. Once you understand Aham Brahmasmi, then what is the thing is, I am not affected by anything. I am not this body mind complex. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jivo Brahmaiva Naparaha. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Aham Brahmaiva Naparaha. Jivo, you have to take it as I. And Aham. Aham Brahmaiva Naparaha. So I am nothing other than the Brahman. Once you get to that level, then you can also become Akshobhya. Because then you will also need not be affected by anything. All transaction will go on. But that is only for this body mind complex called Ahankara. But I am not affected by anything. That's what he says. Then then Sarva Vagishwareshwara, the Lord of all the lords of speech. Lord of all the lords of speech. Brihaspati is called Vagishwara because he is the Lord of Vak, the knowledge, and he is a Guru of all the Devatas, including Indra. In astrology, he is called Guru. Now, Brahmaji and Agni are also Vagishwara because they bless the speech. Saraswati is also deity of Vak, but Bhagavan is the Ishvara, the Lord of all these Vagishwaras, the great deities of Vak, blessing them with that capacity, and hence he is called Sarva Vagishwara. Sarva Vagishwara. Then Mahahridaha, he, the one who is a big, so one who is like a big lake, one who is like a big lake. He is Mahahrida because he is like a big lake like Manasarovar. He is an ocean of Ananda, reaching which people get themselves cooled from the heat of samsara. Again, reaching within quote. Reaching is nothing but understanding. I mean, this is often a very confusing term. Whenever we use the verb, we have to be very careful. Because normally we say Bhagavan is residing in Shivaloka or Vaikunta, we have to reach there, go there. In Advaita Siddhanta is very clear. The reaching is nothing but dropping the notion I am different from the Lord. Dropping the notion I am a Jiva and he is a Parama, nothing. So Jiva and Paramatma are one and the same. Jivatma, Paramatma, Aikyam. The oneness is nothing but dropping the notion. That is the Advaita Siddhanta, which is very unique compared to all other philosophies. So you have to understand clear. So he is reaching means what? Once you understand and I am the Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, you are the Ananda Swarupam. Satchit Ananda, everything is you only. So you have to discover your Purnat, your original nature. By what? By studying the scriptures regularly. In the one word, this is the ultimate philosophy. But ultimately, to get to this, you have to prepare your mind and study systematically for a long time. You will understand. So Bhagavan says, you can also become a Mahahridaha. You can also be like a big lake. Only thing is you have to work on it. Because currently you think you are a Jiva, you are Alpagya. But you can also be understanding, you can also become a Brahman. Becoming Brahman within quote by understanding. Then you can overcome the samsara. That means mentally you will not be affected by anything. Because only in Advaita Siddhanta, the what do you call it? Jivan Mukti is talked about. That means here and now. All other philosophies say, don't you have to drop the body, then you have to go somewhere, there you get liberated. No. Advaita says very clearly, here and now you can enjoy. You can enjoy what? You can enjoy a peaceful mind. You can enjoy a happy mind. You can enjoy a mind without any fear. And you can be absolutely in bliss without affected by anything, because everything is only to the body mind complex, and ever the world will, my Hankara will get affected based on the Prarabdha. I am not affected. So the so-called I am, within quote, when they say I am, I shift my identity to the Atma. So you can do that. So you can also get into the Mahahrida. That's what it is. Then Mahagartaha. Mahagartaha, one who is like a great canyon. So Garta is something like a canyon. That means his Maya is difficult to cross like a great canyon. And he is Mahagarta. In Gita, Bhagavan says himself, Na mama maya dyuratya mameva e prapadyante maya metam tarantite. 7th chapter. My maya is very difficult to cross. It can be crossed only with the grace of Bhagavan. For those who are not prepared, it is very difficult to cross. But for those who surrender totally to the Lord, He will be able to cross it easily. In fact, just now, before this class, we were just doing the Viveka Chudamani class, where the Maya part is beautifully described by Acharya in Viveka Chudamani. There are two shlokas, shloka number 108 and 109. I'll just give you the shloka. I'm not going to go into the details because Maya is something which is inexplicable. It is inexplicable. It is called anirvachaniyam. It is inexplicable. Because Maya is the unmanifest, avyaktam. It is unmanifest. When it manifests into world, this is what you call it as a prapancha and all the jivas. So when the cause is inexplicable, the product, which is all this prapancha and all the jiva, is also inexplicable. They are all experienceable, but actually not real. So this is the concept. So there are two shlokas which is there. Avyakta namni paramesha shaktihi anadya vidya trigunatmika para karyanumeya sudiyaiva maya eya jagat sarvam idam prasuyate. That is a beautiful shloka. Another one. Sannapya sannapya bhayatmikano bhinnapya bhinnapya bhayatmikano sangapya nangapya bhayatmikano mahadbhutam anirvachaniya rupa. Anirvachaniyam. So that is why what we say is it's a very big subject by itself. But just to give you an understanding, often we ask the question, why me? Whenever we are going through some challenges, some tough situations in life, we immediately ask, why me? Why Bhagavan is always experimenting everything on me? Why am I suffering? It can never be explained. It can never be explained. Only thing is, what we say is, your prarabdha, the past actions of yours, the good and bad actions only, or your one portion, that too one portion of is fructifying in this janma as prarabdha karma. And sometime good prarabdha is there, you are enjoying good. That time you will never ask Bhagavan, why am I enjoying a good life? Only when things go wrong, only you will ask, why me? So when the things go wrong, you say, my karma, my prarabdha is what is afflicting me. That's it. But you do not know what it is. Because Bhagavan is, so what is this? This is actually mayas. Everything is anityam. Everything is mithya. We use the word mithya. The mithya means maya, or another thing is what? Mithya. Now, mithya means what? It is experientially, it is there, but really speaking, it is not true. Like a sunrise, blue ocean, blue sky. Like this, you can experience everything, but on inquiry, it is not there. So the Maya Shakti, so he is the one who is a great canyon. This is one way of looking at it. The second word of interpretation is the word Garta has also the meaning of chariot. Has also meaning of chariot. So, and therefore, Mahagarta means Maharatha. He is Mahagarta as he has shown himself as a great charioteer in this Krishna Avatara. He was the charioteer for Arjuna. That story, you know that. So, the other meaning you can take it. Then Mahabhuta, the great being. The word Bhuta means anything that is. Generally, all the Bhuta means all the being, all the exist living things, which can be referred as existing or subject to time, change, and death. But Bhagavan as the Paramatma exists in all the periods of time, that is past, present, and future, and is always the same. And he is called Mahabhuta. Then next one is Mahanidhi, the big treasure house. So Nidhi is a receptacle or storehouse where things are stored. Bhagavan is the Mahanidhi, where everything, all the beings, all the elements and elementals are treasured, kept. So he is the safe keeper of the entire world. So Mahanidhi. So this is shloka number 86. Now we will go and then chant shloka number 87. Kumudha kundara kunda parjanyah pavano nilah amrudamsho brdavapuhu sarvagya sarvato mukah. Kumudha kundara kunda parjanyah pavano nilah amrudansho mrdavapuhu sarvagya sarvato mukah. 807th Nama, Kumudaha, one who makes the earth happy. Ku means the earth. In his avatars, he reduces the extra burden that earth has to bear. That and Kum Modayati makes the Bhumi Devi happy, hence Kumuda. The Puranas poetically talk of the earth being overburdened. When adharma overpowers dharma, whenever there is a overpopulation of any species, we find there is always a readjustment taking place. Nature itself will adjust itself. This is a poetic expression. As Ishvara, he is the one who makes the people on the earth happy by bringing rains at the right time. Thus, he is Kumuda, makes the flora and fauna happy, and thereby making Mother Earth happy. Understand? See, Kumudaha. Then Kundaraha, one who gives the results pleasant like the Kunda flower. Here, two interpretations are given. Kunda is a fragrant white flower like jasmine. So he is Kundara because Rati. He gives the results for our prayerful karma and the results that are pure and fragrant like a white Kunda flower. Or he is Kundara because Lati. He accepts our offerings as pure Kunda. The second interpretation is, or he is a Kundara because he as though split the the earth, in his Varaha Avatara while trying to kill the Hiranyaksha. This is another meaning, Kundaraha. Then Kundaha, one who is beautiful like Kunda flower. Now, the previous Nama Kundaraha means one who gives the results pleasant like a Kunda flower. Here, what the Kundaha means, one who is beautiful like the Kunda flower. He is beautiful and pure like the Kunda flower, and so Kunda. So in the Parshurama Avatara, he performed a great yaga and gave away the earth to the sage Kashyapa. And also because he as though destroyed the earth by destroying the Kshatriyas, he is known as Kunda. And then Parjanyaha, the one who blesses like Parjanya. Again, Ishvara is Parjanya as he rains on us the various desirable karma palas, which are the nature of Sukha and fulfill the desires of the people. The rain brings down the heat. So too Ishvara brings down the tapas. Tapas means for the afflictions, the heat of our threefold afflictions, Adhyatmika, Adi Devika, Adi Bhautika. We have explained it in the past. So you know that Adhyatmika means whatever the personal sufferings we have got individually, ailments and things like this. Now, Adi Bhautika means the surrounding which is giving us trouble, and Adi Devika means the very natural calamities which are troubling us. So he brings down all of them. So he is Parjanyaha. Then Pavanaha, one who purifies. Pavanaha. So Bhagavan is Pavana because Punati. Now he purifies us. The very act of remembering him and his name purifies us. By remembering him, all binding likes and dislikes are neutralized. The fear of death and all other insecurities are removed. That person in whose awareness the presence of Ishvara is never lost, is never alienated from Ishvara. Now, this is what happens in prayer. Not only does prayer bring Ishvara into one's awareness, but also gives a life that involves dharma, straightforwardness, compassion, reaching out to activities, and so on. In all these, one is in harmony with Ishvara. This harmony removes the impurities in the antakarana, chitta shuddhi, in the mind. Thus, one is released from the hold of likes and dislikes and purified. So he is the one who is a purifier. That means what? Thinking of Lord all the time. How to think of Lord all the time? Looking at the entire universe as Lord. So in all your waking hours, Lord is available in front of you. I told you in the beginning of the Vishnu Sahasranamam itself. The very purpose of Vishnu Sahasranama chanting is to purify the mind. Only when you purify the mind, you can say Aham Brahmasmi, the concept can be understood, and you can discover your oneness with the Bhagavan, with the Ishvara. That can be done. Aham Brahmasmi as a Mahavakyam, you can simply state, everybody knows Tadu Tomasi Aham Brahmasmi. But how will you understand? How will you assimilate that? For which the mind has to be purified. Bhagavan says, I am the purifier. By what? By thinking of Lord all the time. So how will you think of Lord all the time? By divinizing the universe all the time. That is the very purpose of Vishnu Sahasranama. I repeatedly told you in the past. So by expanding the mind, by what? By start seeing everything in the universe, including your boss, including your husband or wife, including your employees, including everything, including all the animals, all the beings, every situations. You see Bhagavan in everything, everywhere. Bharadiyar, a great poet, son, Kakai Kuruvi Engal Jati. He says all the crows and parrots and everything, no, sparrows, everything is my own jati, my own species. Everything, he starts seeing everything as Lord. So start seeing everything as the Lord. Then what happens? There's no likes or dislikes. Everything is acceptable. Because earlier, Dhamma, we said, no, he is the great canyon, Mahagartha hai. He is a Maya. So we do not explain, we cannot understand the cause and effect of everything, what is going on. You cannot find out the cause of everything. Don't ever ask why me. Where it is possible, accept. Where it is possible, where it is possible, where you are going through challenging periods or challenging situations, work on it. Our Shastra never says you should not work on the issues. Shastra never says you meekly accept things. Shastra says you work on it, you fight for it, you work on it. But understand your free will has got the limitations. There is an invisible things which is Bhagavan's blessing which is there. So our life is governed by the free will as well as blessing of the Bhagavan. In Vedanta, we call it as a prarabdha. So these two vaktas operate our life. But understand, with the free will, wherever I have got challenges, I will try to do my best. But where it is not possible, I will accept. But there is no question of likes, of dislikes in the world. There's no question of liking some part of the world and disliking some other part of the world. That is never accepted. You cannot have one way of doing things. Either you accept everything or reject everything. You accept everything as Ishvara and work on it. Then what? Then Bhagavan says, I will purify your mind. I will purify you, Pavanaha. I will purify your mind. You reject everything. That is Vedantically, you reject the world as a mithya. You reject everything in the world. Then there's no issues at all. Either you accept everything before the jnanam, you accept everything as Bhagavan, that will purify the mind. After the jnanam, if you accept everything as Bhagavan, means you start seeing Brahman in everything, the absolute consciousness or oneness, everything in the thing. You reject everything is what? The whole world is mithya. So you cannot have twofold ways. But Bhagavan says here, I purify you by start seeing me in each and everything. That means you accept whatever can be accepted. Whatever can be worked on, you work on it. There is something called serenity prayer. The serenity prayer says, you can go and Google it also. It says, oh Lord, now give me the ability to accept which cannot be changed. Oh Lord, give me the enough strength or enough source of energy to change what can be changed. And oh Lord, give me an intellect to differentiate what can be changed, what cannot be changed. So understand these three principles. Beautiful prayer. And when look at everything as Lord, Bhagavan says, I will purify everything. So this is Pavanaha. Then next one is Anilaha. Anilaha, the unimpelled. The one who impels is Ila. Na Ila Anilaha. Bhagavan neither impels nor is impelled, hence is Anila. As Atma, he just blesses. As the Atma is the one and the same in all. And it does not think. Atma blesses the mind, because of which the mind is conscious and thinks. In the mind there is I thought and this thought. With reference to this thought and the I thought becomes the owner of the thought. And this is called thinking. Then we say, I am the thinker. So both these thoughts are blessed by the Atma. Now when we think of the mustard and thought of the mustard occupies the whole mind. Because mustard is very small, we cannot say that only a small part of the mind is occupied. The thought of Milky Way, the galaxy also occupies the whole mind. So thought of a chocolate also occupies the whole mind. So the mustard thought, the galaxy thought, or the chocolate thought, all these things are nothing but consciousness. And without consciousness, there can be no thought at all. But Bhagavan as the Atma is just the Sakshi, witness, and not the impeller of any thought or action. Again, Bhagavan is not impelled by anyone or anything. A daydreamer or sleepwalker is also called Ila, one who is asleep to ignorance, asleep to or ignorant to his true nature is Ila. Bhagavan neither sleeps nor daydreams because he is Nitya Prabuddha Swarupa. So ever awake and Alupta Drik, one who never ceases to be awake and aware. And in the form of consciousness which has no eyelids, he is ever awake. As Atma, he is the Sakshi of the three states of experience. As Bhagavan also, he has no ignorance of himself, ever awake to his Swarupa. So Bhagavan is called Anila. Anila means one who never sleeps. Nila means that which is difficult to comprehend. Na nilaha anilaha. So for the prepared people, the devotees, Bhagavan is Anila, not difficult to understand, attain, but Sulabha, easy, because they understand that he is ever present as their Atma. So very philosophical meaning. I don't want to spend too much time. I will move on to the next one. Then Anilaha, then Amritashaha. Amritashaha. Amritashaha, then Amrita Vapuhu are the Arthamin. So Amritashaha means the enjoyer of immortality. We are bothered daily by hunger and thirst, and we have to eat and drink in order to allay them. So what is the Ashana? The food for Bhagavan. Bhagavan eats Amrita, the nectar. His own Ananda Surupa is Amrita. So he as though eats and drinks himself. The one who takes Amrita, there is no death at all. If one takes Amrita, there is no death. So this is the nectar of knowledge. So Atma is not subject to time and mortality, and hence Amrita. And hence Amrita. The body does not think I am a mortal, but I is not subject of time. The fear comes only from the notion that I am a mortal, which is centered on the I. So this confusion is resolved when there is the understanding that the I is not bound by time. Atma is consciousness, which is very content of time, content of now. Bhagavan is Amrita, not subject to time, and hence he eats Amrita, sustains on his own Swarupa, and hence it is the Amrita Asha. It can also be looked from the standpoint of the Purana. When the Milky Ocean was tuned, Amrita was obtained. Bhagavan as Mohini helped the Devas to take the Amrita, and he also took it, and hence Amrita Asha. Alternately, his Asha is Amrita. His desires and hopes never die, never go waste. Hence, he is Amrita Asha. This is the meaning of Amrita Asha. Next one is Amrita Vapuhu. Now, one whose form is immortal. Because he is Amrita Asha, the enjoyer of Amrita, he is Amrita Vapu, one whose Vapu's body is nectar. Vapu means body, is nectar. Body here refers to the Swarupa or the nature. The Swarupa Ishvara being Satchit Ananda is Amrita, has no time-bound existence. It is not subject to time. And because he is Amrita Vapu, he is Amrita Asha also. Then Sarvajnaha. Sarvajna means omniscient. Now, he is Sarvajna, the one who knows everything. When it is said Bhagavan knows all, he has neither self-ignorance nor does he have any ignorance about any object. There is nothing that is unknown to him, either generally or in detail. So he is Sarvajna and Sarvavit. So understand is very important. So people think I can do some akramas behind the back of everyone, but Bhagavan is watching. Bhagavan is watching all the times. You can never escape. So you can hide yourself from the human beings, all other beings, but you cannot hide from the Bhagavan's eyes. Understand this. Our whole religion is based on this Papa Punya principles. Okay, Papa Punya means what? Whenever you do good thing, you get the invisible blessing called Punya. Whenever you do something wrong, then that's called, you incur, in the English they call it as a sin, Papa. So Papa means that's accumulated into the account, and you have to reap the benefits of both the Punya and Papa actions. So you'll have to suffer. So Bhagavan has got the accountant, and Bhagavan's computer will never go bad, never corrupt, and it's always working perfectly. And your karma pala can be not only in this janma, it can be in multiple janmas later also. Which janma you will get, you do not know. So under, because he is Sarvagya, and he is beyond the time and space. And so he keeps account of all our actions in all the janmas. So we always say past cannot be changed, so let us forget it. Now onwards, having understood it, now you can change your behavior. What is that? Lead a life of dharma. Now Shastra says, lead a life of dharma itself. Then automatically you will go to Vedanta. You don't need to ask anything. You lead a life of dharma. At some point of time, Bhagavan says, I will take you there. I will make you understand you are the Brahman, and I will make your mind pure. I will bless you. I will get everything. Only thing is, you have to lead a life of dharma. The dharma is based on what? Papa Punya principle. So Sarvagya, Bhagavan is Sarvagya, and Sarva Shaktiman. Sarva Shaktiman means what? He can enact all the things what he wants to do. So he can give specifically, like a targeted, like a drip irrigation, only for that person. Nowadays, you have got modern missiles, right, which focus so accurately and exactly go to that building and go to that person and hit that person. Like this, Bhagavan target the individuals for blessing both good as well as for punishing for bad. Understand both. He is Sarvagya. Then Sarvato Mukha, one whose faces are everywhere. Bhagavan is multi-face. That is, any face there is the face of Bhagavan alone. Sahasra Sirisha Purusha. Purusha Suktam starts with this. Now he is the Virat, and being everything, he has got many faces which we can see everywhere and everything. Bhagavan himself says in Gita, na Sarvatokshi Shiro Mukham. He is saying in the 13th chapter, Sarvatokshi Shiro Mukham. He has eyes, heads, and faces everywhere. So when I say Sarvagyaha and he has got Sarvato Mukha, that means he is watching us all the time. Another one. He is watching us all the time. And of course, Narayana Suktam says, Bahirantascha Bhutanam, Acharam Charam Evacha. No, not Narayana Suktam. No, sorry. Not this is Gita, sorry. In Narayana Suktam, Antar Bahishya Sat Sarvam. Vyapya Narayana Stitaha, Antar Bahishya Sat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana. Bhagavan is all pervading. He is there watching us all the time. So understand. So have fear to do wrong and be bold to do right. That concept you have to understand. Go to next Nama. We have time, right? We have no next Nama. Sholabha Suvrita Siddha Shatrujit Chaturtapanaha Nyakro Dodumbaroshvataha Chanurandra Nishudanaha Sholabha Suvrita Siddha Shatrujit Chaturtapanaha Nyakro Dodumbarashvastaha Chanurandra Nishudanaha. Sulabha, one who is easily attainable. Bhagavan is Sulabha, one who is easily attainable without any effort. Because he is already Siddha, accomplished as Atma of oneself. Anything that is Sadhya to be accomplished is not easy to attain because lot of effort has to be put in. But if it is already Siddha, existent, no effort is required to attain it. Only knowing is required. Only knowing it is required. Bhagavan as Satchit Ananda Atma is you, and you know this. No effort is needed. One has to be exposed only to the teaching. There is no action involved because there is no will. Knowing is not doing, or doing is not knowing. Once the eyes are opened with the mind behind it, seeing takes place automatically. There is no effort involved. The will is suspended. So when one is exposed to the teaching of Shastra, since the Pramana is available and Atma is also available, knowledge takes place. It is easy. Do you want to know Ishvara? All that is seen is nothing but Ishvara. I repeatedly say the same thing. This fact alone has to be recognized. So as Ishvara also, he is easy to know, and as Satchit Ananda Atma also, he is easily attained. So no matter how we express it, all that he wants is only our total commitment and bhakti. If that is there, he is Sulabha. He easily reveals himself. It is said that he is Sulabha, being satisfied with any leaf, flower or fruit. Patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati. Tataham bhakti ubahridam ashnami prayatatmanah. Yat karoshi yadashnasi yadjuhoshi dadasiyate yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurushva madarpanam. 9th chapter Gita. Okay, because he is obtained through the bhakti alone. He is obtained through the bhakti alone. This is very, very important. Ishvara sarvabhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. Brahmayan sarvabhutani yantrarudani maya. So Bhagavan says in many places in Gita, I am there, antaryami, I am the inner essence of you. Discover this. For which you have to study regularly, systematic study. Vishnu Sahasranamam is only a teaser for you. Because here I just bring these concepts up for those who are already in the Vedantic path, who are all already having the understanding of Bhagavad Gita and other spiritual texts. I'm only trying to bring those aspects. For those who are not studying, who are listening to this audio or video, you will find it extremely difficult to understand, because for you it will be you do not know what is this all this thing about. That means I told you, you have to come back to the systematic study starting from Tattva Bodha and Bhagavad Gita. At least you study these two texts. Classes are available all over the world. So better you study systematically, then you will understand the inner meaning of all these things. So Bhagavan is very Sulabha, very easy to attain. Very easy. Because he is there. Only thing is knowing only is called attainment. Understand. Then Suvrataha, one who accepts all the offerings. Because his vrata is shobhana, excellent. He is suvrata. The word vrata can mean enjoyment as well as a vow to desist from enjoyment. He has as though the vrata, the vow of accepting and enjoying whatever is offered to him. As Lord Rama, he accepted and enjoyed the fruits offered by the Shabari and Guha. And Lord Krishna, he accepted and enjoyed the beaten rice offered by Kuchela and the simple food given by Vidura. And in his avatars, he took up vows such as desisting from food. So he is Suvrata also because Vratayati, he makes people to take up vratas, vows, as a means of propitiating him. Okay, as a means of propitiating tapas. That's what is called, vrata is called tapas. So that's what it is. Then Siddha, the ever existent, or meaning, the second meaning is one who accomplishes independently. He is Siddha, who is ever existent because he is self-existent without depending on anything else. He is already accomplished. The other meaning is the capacity to make oneself big, small, heavy or light and so on are called Siddhis. So one who has these capacities is called a Siddha. Generally people get them as the karma pala of great tapas from the Lord. But Bhagavan has many of these siddhis by himself without depending on anybody and in Siddha. I told you about the Siddha very clearly, Siddhi power. Now, there are Ashtamaha Siddhis. There are only 8 big ones which are referred. Many Siddha power is there. Okay. Trying to understand what is happening somewhere or going from one body to another for temporarily and coming back. All these various Siddhas are there. So Bhagavan has got powers, innumerable Siddha powers himself. Whereas human being can work on it and get the Siddha power. Siddha power does not mean Jnanam. Jnanam and Siddhi power are two mutually exclusive things. So some people think every Jnani has to be having miracles. That is a wrong concept. Now miracles is due to Siddhi power which is there, Siddha power which you have got. So it has got nothing to do with the Jnanam. Jnanam is important, Siddhi power is there or not, it doesn't matter. You don't need it. In fact, the Siddha power for the individual, for the jivas, is actually a distraction. You should not get distracted by this. In fact, many people who come to Vedantic studies, let me complete that also. Many people who come to Vedantic studies, they are thinking they are waiting for some Siddha power to come to them. Then only they think they are Jnani. They think I have crossed 1,000 miles. I have to wait for the last 5 miles. I have to cross over. I am waiting for the Bhagavan's darshanam to come. Bhagavan's darshanam is always here. So you are waiting for that extraordinary, extrasensory experiences. I mean, they are waiting. All these concepts are not correct. And it's all very clearly explained in the Upanishads as well as in the Brahma Sutra. So don't wait for all these powers. Bhagavan has got all the powers. He can do anything. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim. Yatrupat abahamande paramananda madhavam. That we say in the Gita Dhyana Shloka. So that he can do is, he can do all those things. Mukam karoti vachalam. So one person who is dumb can be made to speak. Pangum langayate girim. Even a person who is not able to walk, he can cross over. He can make miracles happen. We see all the miracles all the time. Some people say, I had a stage 4 cancer and the doctor gave up. Then somebody came and then he said, pray. Just now I saw news actually. And he prayed and everything got cured completely. And he said, miracles have happened. Bhagavan can make the miracle happen, not we. We can work for the miracles, but that will be a distracting thing. That is not required. Bhagavan has got miracles. That's what it is. Just now this morning I read one WhatsApp post. One person from another religion and he was having some cancer and everybody has given up at the age of 24. And then one person advised him, why don't you go to Raghavendra Swamigal and pray? He went to Bhadrachalam and then he went to pray at Raghavendra Swamigal and finally he got completely cured and then he changed his name and all those things. So there are so many miracles happen all the time because Bhagavan is a Siddha. Then next one, Shatrujit, vanquisher of enemies. Okay, that means he is Shatrujit because Shatru means enemy, Jit means winner. Shatrujit means vanquisher of enemies because he conquers all the enemies. Now, whenever it is said the Lord defeats, destroys, torments the Asuras who are the enemies of Devas, it should be understood properly. Bhagavan does not have a special like or dislike for anyone. That would make him go out of the way to help one or destroy another. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya. Bhagavan says in the 9th chapter of Gita. So Sura or Deva stands for anyone who is sincerely trying to pursue dharma and moksha. So these are enemies both inside and outside for such people. So whoever takes to adharma and disturb the people who pursues dharma and moksha is an asura. Now, whoever takes to adharma and disturb the people who are pursuing the dharma and moksha is an asura. So whatever stands in the way of devas like qualities manifesting in the devotees is an enemy. When his help is sought by prayer and prayerful deeds, Bhagavan will help to vanquish all the enemies. Asuras get destroyed by their own karma. I have experienced myself personally. Many personal experiences have come. Whenever there are major so-called hurdles come in the life, Bhagavan comes and gives the ways. Many things has happened in my personal life. Because you have to be in the thought of Lord and not seeking. The artha bhakti has to be stopped. You have to become a jignasu bhakta. That means you don't ask, you don't beg to Bhagavan. Bhagavan will take care. You have total sharnagati. Ananyas chintayam toma mejana paryupasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam bahamyaham. So you be with the Lord all the time. He will take care of all your needs. Pratyaksha experience is there. Okay, lots and lots of experiences, many experiences. So initially I could not understand this concept before I came into the deeper study of Vedanta and changing the attitude towards life. And as more and more, spending more and more in this path, and then spending more and more time involved in this, and then being in the thought of Lord all the time. In fact, now I say, having no problem is the only problem, because we are in the thought of Lord. Everything is Him. So He will take care of it. So it's a very beautiful word. Now, Shatrujit. Shatru is internal enemy. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. We will continue in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mayi Mayishaha Go Brahmanebhyo Shubhamas Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Shri Gurubhyo Namah. Krishnarpanamastu.